Right then, Reds, I think we're all pretty much unanimous in knowing the one position that Manchester United have to sort out as a priority, because I don't think it's the one position that we have to sort out and then we're just sound. I think it's sort this position out first, and then we can start looking at some of the other areas that probably need a little bit of surgery in as well. Now, for me, there is one midfielder that would absolutely light up Old Trafford. I did a video yesterday with Ronaldo, and we were talking a little bit about some of the players that might make a difference to us, some of the areas that we might make a difference. You can make a case for a right back. I think you can definitely make a case for a striker. I think Cristiano and Cavani won't be here following the summer. There's even some talk that you might need a right winger now with Sancho playing off the left-hand side. Some people would like a centre-half. Some people would like a left-back. Some people would like another number 8 if Paul Pogba goes. But number 6, that defensive midfielder position, is the most critical position that United have to find someone in. And it has to be, for me, you've got to be class to play as a 6. It's one of the most pivotal positions on a pitch. You need someone who scores your goals, and you need someone that knits it all together. The difference between attack and defence, the transition to move it forward, that's the number 6. They've got to have ability to be able to spray it around. They've got to have the energy to cover in behind both fullbacks if they get beat and cover for them. They've got to have the ability to take the ball under pressure. You expect dribbling out of them. You expect passing range. You expect tackling out of them. They need positional intelligence. It's a serious, serious, pivotal position for a football team. Now, I'm going to put it to you, 22-year-old Monaco defensive midfielder Aurélien Tchouaméni is that man. He's a nightmare to play against. He is the embodiment of the type of defensive midfielder that I think United are absolutely crying out for. He's athletic. He's got a turn of pace. He's got really good anticipation and reading of the game, snuffing out attacks as they happen. But not only does he win the ball back for Monaco with astonishing regularity, he also moves it along beautifully once he's got it. He's got a range of passing. He allows midfield runners in front of him to move into space because he can find them. He's not someone that has to simplify his game and just keep it simple because he doesn't have the balls or the ability to be able to play those passes. He'll play those passes. He's an exceptional tackler in his position. He's in the 97th percentile for tackles. Elite. He's at nearly 4 tackles per 90, which is more than the likes of Casemiro and Kante by, combining a really aggressive nature in defending and the awareness that he brings in that position. He times his challenges to perfection. He's in the 99th percentile for interceptions per 90, which means he's literally a metric monster when it comes to the defensive side of being a defensive midfielder. He's robust. He's athletic. He is more than comfortable driving forward with the ball into advanced positions once he wins it back, rather than just passing it to others, which is something that's effective and something that you might get out of, I don't know, like an Ndidi type of character. He's got more in common with Roy Keane than he does with Ndidi. He's got the complete package. He's composed. He's skillful. He's capable of dribbling it and taking it into tight spaces. He's got great feet. He's got potential to be a danger when going forward. We've seen him being exceptional in the air, and he's got a strike on him if he gets the opportunity to get into the opposition box. He's mature beyond his years. He's got match intelligence and awareness, and it's immediately noticeable when you watch him. Now, League One gets a lot of critics, but one thing about it that's the closest to the Premier League in terms of the physical nature of it. Now, Bundesliga's intense, and it's physically intense, but it's physically intense in terms of that it's a very running league. The Premier League and the Championship, for example, they're physically intense because the nature of the challenges that are allowed in that league. Like Spain is not a physically intense league. It's a technically intense league, and you might get passed to death and you might get moved around and you might be chasing the ball for a long time, so you might be tired, but you're not getting nailed as much as you do in the Championship or as much as you do in the Premier League. And for me, France is the closest league to that in terms of it's a physically intense league. It's quick like Bundesliga, but it's got an edge to it a little bit like England does. And I think that's because of the nature of a lot of the type of players that you get in there. It's a lot more open than England, but there's still some of those challenges going. Now, Tchouaméni's got the stamina, the toughness that is required in England. We've seen him do it in France. We know he's got it. Now, how does he fit in? Now, Tchouaméni fits into probably any midfield in any system. He currently plays as the lone deep liar in a 4-1-4-1, which is is very close to and actually not too far away from a 4-3-3. He would be proficient in any kind of double pivot. He's an outright monster of a football player with the potential to play right to the pinnacle of any defensive midfielder in football. And his ability shows that you've got to be very forward thinking in your 8 and 10, because you're not going to have to worry about the balance, because he's just going to deal with it all. I think he's an absolute must-buy for Manchester United. He's the number one target. In terms of how much he's worth, with Monaco, you're not usually playing above 50 million or so. I think that would be the sort of bracket that I think he would thrive in, and I think he would be available at. And I think 50 million on him, if you're not going to get Kamara and you're not looking at one of the free options, I think he's a little bit ahead of those in terms of ability. £50 million on him or £100 million on Declan Rice? I'll take 2 at the price of Tchouaméni, please. He is an absolute world-class potential player in waiting, essentially. He's going to burst onto the scene where people are just talking about him almost Makelele-ish. And he's not quite there yet. He's still young. But he's at this kind of age that Roy Keane was when we signed him. And even though he doesn't play the game in the same way, I think the impact he could have at Manchester United could be similar to that Roy Keane had, and be that powerhouse for a decade or more in our midfield. So one place you need genuine, provable world-class ability. And I think this kid's got the lot. Let me know in the comments, do you agree? Do you disagree? Is there someone else that you think would be a better fit for us or a better option? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters.